Right, so I had this lady come in. That 5 o'clock on Friday, she got transferred to my ward. And after that, all allied health have gone home. There's only physio allied health on rehab ward on weekends, and that's for like the number one priorities that need physio. And then I was chatting to this lady this morning, getting my initial assessment done and everything. And the lady and like the doctor from the old ward comes in and goes like, "Hi, how you going?" And he was, one, not wearing a mask, what you're supposed to. So not following any of the protocols because you have the scabies outbreak there at the moment, or a gown. And he comes in with like 4 other people and he's like, "Sorry, I'll just interrupt for a second." And I was like, "It's fine." And then he goes, "So how's your rehab been going?" And she's like, "Oh, I haven't done any yet." And he's like, "Well, you better hope they get to it soon." 10 o'clock on a Monday morning. And she got transferred there at 5 p.m. on a Friday night. It's like he just thinks he's so entitled and just like has no idea. I just found him some of the doctors just quite rude.
And that's another classic Georgia story. Welcome back to another episode of the Finergy Podcast, the home of dysfunctional rugby league. Joined to my right, as always, the Queen, Georgia. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Who's joining you?
Finton.
Hell of a pump up. Hell of a pump up. Look, that beautiful story, one of Georgia's best. Look, we're just talking, about work. How's it been? Look, and that's what we want to do. I think, hands up, hands in the air. Been in a bit of a rut, been in a bit of a rugby league rut the last couple of weeks,
Maybe it's because every episode you've been depressed with your tip score.
Yeah, so what I was just saying then was how I've been in a rut.
Yeah.
And then what you said is maybe you've been depressed because of your rugby league scores. So that is an astute observation. Definitely part of it. I was going to explain it, but another win for Georgia. But yeah, look, it's true. It's true. And I'll give you the hot tip this week, didn't do any favours. To be honest with you, until Sunday, 5:45, fucking fantastic. Like, I really found my spark back.
Do you know what? Our relationship was in a really good point.
Yeah,
until 5:45 on Sunday.
Honest to God, like I was just, everything was going well, connected. I spent the Friday, I was back bushwalking and car camping. And look, yes, I had a great time, but I did leave Woy at 3:30 in the morning, drive 2 hours to get here. Because, car camping is really fun, and the idea in the eventuation, it never actually is good, but it's still fun, but it's not good, if you get my meaning. But, just being down the dumps. Look, and George has been hit and miss in terms of if she actually bothers to show up to the show with her namesake on it, might I add. No one has any prejudice against that. But look, been in a rut, and so it was just good, and I feel like we're back. I think we're back.
Yeah.
And I think let's just be normal. Because I think that's probably the thing after 26 episodes. Probably the still factor is that it doesn't feel normal.
Well, I thought our Origin episodes were great.
The ones that you didn't show up to?
No, the ones I showed up to, 1 and 2.
It's hard to keep track of. It's just like here you're not.
I've missed 2 episodes.
2 out of 26. 1 every 13. You do the maths.
Okay.
Because I failed general maths.
Anyway, I thought that they were pretty good and that we were pretty natural. But then after Origin...
This is what I'm saying. So what you're describing there... Yes. So we're on the same page.
Yeah.
We're on the same rugby league page. Things were going great.
Yeah.
And then would you say, after Origin, there was a bit of a lull.
Yeah.
And we're feeling like we picked it back up.
Yeah.
Now.
Would
you describe that lull period as what?
A rut.
So
but I was
another win for Georgia.
I'm just giving a timing perspective.
Yeah, great.
To the rut.
Great, I apologise. But yes, look at that. And we're in sync. We're even in sync. So I think this should be good. Because look, hands in the air, last one, bit of a duff. It was actually pretty fucking terrible. It was not a good one. I didn't even bother to make a reel from it. So, kind of tells the story. But look, let's just be normal.
Yeah, we also did have to restart that episode 35 times. So by the time we got to the take. I was pretty over it.
Well, that's the thing. Do you know what? And it's really frustrating because it happens every time. It even happened today. All our best material happens before
we press record. Yeah, you're always just sitting there.
I know, we're so natural and it's just flowing and we're talking about life and funny things we saw and then we're talking about football.
And then you press record and you
it
go...
just shits the bed.
No, and you go, oh, I don't know what to say. And you go,
Yeah, and then I look to my co-host and this is what I get.
But you're the host.
It's G. Hey, Georgia, how did you find that game? Oh, I didn't actually watch the football this week. Oh, didn't you? Well, why not? I've been busy. Oh, have you? Yeah, well, I do placement and I do netball and it's hard. Hell of an insight there, G. So, you know, but look at this. We're back. Look, we're just talking about, work. Look, let's get deep and personal.
Whoa.
And see, that is the insight you want. You want a co-host to just read the room and not jump in. Working at a school, I'm an SLSO, soon-to-be teacher, and by soon-to-be, I mean in 4 years. I'm not counting down. Well, to be honest, I've checked out. Uni it's not fun, and we were talking about before, and so if you were to look at our scores, Georgia's HSC blows mine out of the water. Her, distinctions, high distinctions, left, right, and centre. And, I got a 53 ATAR. And that's out of 100.
You have to make that clear.
Also, at an academically selective high school. Like, I just put that out there. So, not great. I'm one semester down in uni, I'm in my second, 3 credits and a pass. And the kids, and I just think if you were to blank resume, look at it, if you were to say who's more intelligent, you would have your answer. But if you were to look at the numbers, you'd think, holy shit, wow, that's alarming. That is. I just don't think you'd put the scores to the face or to the person. Would you agree? If you were to line up a 53 ATAR and you put me in a lineup of 10 people, is that the one that you were putting? You don't know me. You just look at me, you hear me talk. Yeah, there's a 53 ATAR, an 80, and a 90 in front.
Yeah.
Which one would you assign me? Or even sorry, I know I keep interrupting you. It is my favorite hobby. Let's say, you don't have to pretend you don't know me because I know it's quite hard for you to imagine. We all have weaknesses. You know me. You know me.
Mm.
You don't know my ATAR?
Yeah.
What would you assign me?
I'd assign you the lower one.
You would assign me a 99. She's trying to be funny. It's not your character, honey.
No,
But be honest.
I would. If I didn't know you, I'd assign you the 80.
So we'll go off that one. You don't know me.
If I knew you, I'd assign you the 53 because I know that it's either your way or the highway, and that anything you find stupid, you'll pass, but you'll just pass or get a credit, and you have the knowledge, but you'll still do it your way, no matter if that's not how they want it, and that's not how you want it. Like for his first assignment, I had to tell him, did you look at the marking criteria? What's that?
I've never looked at the marking
What do
criteria.
you mean? That's what you base your whole assignment
Didn't do it
off.
in year 10, 11,
Doesn't
12.
matter
I
what-
didn't do it for my HSC. I didn't do it for uni the other 2 times I went. And I'm not doing it this time. Why
You need
would
to
I?
look because it's what they're looking for. And then you can see, right, have I done this? No, I've got to add this in.
But to go back to a previous thing you said that anything stupid. What was that? Something to do with anything stupid? Do I move on from anything stupid? Do I avoid it? I want the word in there.
You don't do anything that you find stupid.
Well, hey. We've nearly been together 4 years.
Stop. That's embarrassing.
When you try to sell something... That was good. That was good.
What?
What did you... It was it was a joke.
Yeah, I got the joke.
About...
I got it.
I don't know.
I'm stupid.
I
got
did get
it.
Sorry. I was confused. I just wanted that clean audio. Sorry. But we need the camera just on the hand stuff there. You're not. But, well, We all have strengths, is how I would look at it. But look, yes, look, I guess I just, we want to inspire you in that first 10 minutes, is that, to, I guess, never give up, and that, hey, your ATAR does not represent you. Okay, look at me. I'm literally molding the lives of our future leaders. Okay?
Thriving at 24.
I am.
Car camping.
I'm car camping. I'm bushwalking. I'm getting made fun of by 8-year-olds for eating my lunch alone at the back of the school. Like, life is actually going so swimmingly for me. And I just think I found my groove back and I found my mojo back. And look, when it comes
It's sad that you define your groove and mojo on football tipping competition.
Well, look, yes, we'll get into it. Clearly my story's not good enough. See, that's a bad habit. I have to get the last word in.
You do, all the time.
I know, and it actually, it does kill things sometimes, so.
Enough with the high fives.
Well, it only took 10 minutes for you to crack. Yeah, I just do. And it's even so many times, I'll be talking to people, right? And it's if I don't really want to say anything, but I don't want to be rude and not say anything, I'll just say something as I'm leaving the room.
Yeah, I know.
And it's
you do it all the time.
But I've got the last word in.
Yeah, and then you just fucking leave.
Oh, yeah, I do it all the time.
Oh, my other pet hate of yours is that when we're at a family dinner and then you're just going and suddenly it's 40 minutes later and everyone's like, where did Finton go? And everyone just assumes you're on the toilet. But no, you're just watching the football. But you don't announce that you're leaving. So I'm just trying to make small talk with your family for an hour.
And that's impossible.
And you've just left.
But see, it's because I don't want... It's the dichotomy of man. I don't want to be rude by saying I'm leaving, so I will just leave.
So much ruder.
It's as a child,
You're so autistic, it's not even funny.
I used to get, sandwiches, right? But I didn't like them. I was really scarred at one point, sort of in the gutter. My mother recently compared herself in the 80s at St. Mary's to being in the slums in India. And I guess at some points, at one point in my childhood, that sort of rung true for us as well. Because I remember distinctly one time getting a Vegemite and cheese sandwich.
That's so good.
Instead of normal butter, it was cooking butter.
Oh.
So it was like a slab of cooking butter. It doesn't spread. I never liked butter since. I don't put butter.
You don't put butter on anything. I don't put butter on anything.
I never butter my toast. I'll butter. The only things I butter is toast sandwich for golden brown or butter a pan. But I don't put butter on any sandwiches.
No, you don't.
I don't. So that right there scarred me, and that I think kind of triggered something in me. And then for a long period there, as a young boy, I didn't want the sandwiches. But I always found it rude to throw it in the bin.
Why didn't you say something?
So it's because I didn't want to be rude. See, that's I'm a complex individual. I didn't want to be rude by telling my mother I didn't like the sandwich. But I also didn't want to be rude by throwing it in the bin because that's wasteful. So I found the genius solution of keeping them in my bag and then taking them home and storing them in the top of my cupboard. Well, after about, 3 months, that's a lot of sandwiches. Let's say that's about 60-odd sandwiches in cling wrap in the top of a cupboard. I'll give you the hot tip. They start to go moldy. After 3 months, they're black. They're very moldy. And yes, they were found one day. I also would just stuff them in my bag and then not take them out of my bag. I just have a bag full of moldy sandwiches.
So gross.
It's safe to say I got in a little bit of trouble for that, but I think they appreciated the sweetness of the gesture. So, still.
And I'm surprised they did not take you to get you tested.
Ironically, I love sandwiches now.
Yeah, I know.
Could live off them. So, it just shows, I think, what it takes to make a good sandwich. And I think that's kind of the point of this. Would you agree? But you're right. Yes, nowadays I do a similar thing where, yes, if I'm sort of done,
yeah,
I don't want to be rude by saying I'm leaving. I will just sneak out. Hey, maybe he's going to the toilet. And hopefully after 15, 20, 25 minutes, they kind of just forget about me and I can just stay down here and have a great time. And then I'll just...
And you just leave me. But the thing is, you don't even message me.
I don't want to be rude. I don't actually understand what's so difficult to understand about that.
You're just leaving me up there, not even messaging me.
Because in fairness, you're always having a great time.
I am.
You have more fun without me.
Yeah, kind of sometimes up there. Because you don't engage in anything.
Well, to be fair, when it's my family, see them all the time.
You don't engage.
I've heard
with,
the stories.
You don't engage with mine either.
I've heard the stories. Yes, I do. Well, how personal are we getting?
Okay. Let's get on to this. Let's get on to this week's tips. We both had a successful week this week. Both had 5 out of 7.
We had 5 out of 7.
7 out of 8. 7 out of 8.
Yes.
Tips correctly.
We did.
And
7
up
out
with the high
of
fives.
7 out of 8. As I said, look, this one is a bittersweet. This one is bittersweet. Look, right now, the margin, the difference between us is it was 7
Yeah.
and it's now 6.
No.
No. It's still 7.
Yeah, it was 6 and now it's 7.
Wait. Oh, so that's, yes, that's why this was really bittersweet. And up until, again, about Sunday, about 5:45, it was fantastic. Because I was up 7-6. Because you go through it. We both got Melbourne, because obviously. Yeah. But, and we'll get into them, I'm still questioning whether they can win the comp. I'm not sure if beating the Penrith Panthers
we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Next one.
It's hard to avoid that.
Next game.
I think you agree.
Next game. Yeah, agree.
Manly beating the Warriors. Again, like I've believed in the Warriors so many times. And I said I was going for them on here.
And then you changed.
Because, like, sometimes you just have to be real, which has cost me this year.
It has.
Roosters beating Para.
Called it.
Yeah, you knew it. Bulldogs beating the Dolphins. Again, we both said Dolphins.
I said Dolphins.
The Bulldogs run, it's gonna hit a snag.
I don't know when it's going to be, though. I really hope for them it's not week 1 of finals.
Well, yeah.
That's what I really
if they're not
hope.
top 4, it'll be elimination.
Yeah.
I hope week 1 they play at Belmore.
Oh, I hope so.
I don't want to see them at a core.
No.
Although,
let's have Bulldogs versus Dragons.
Well, that would fill out a core.
Yeah.
That's a very real possibility. Mm-hmm. Right now, that's what it would be.
Yeah.
You play that Belmore, Cogra, or you could play that game at a core. They wouldn't play it at Belmore or win because it's too small. Oh. And it would be a Bulldogs home game.
Yeah. But
that at Belmore, holy. It'd be unreal. But anyway, I went Bulldogs because, like, obviously, smart tip.
Not my greatest tip.
4 for 4. Cowboys beating the Raiders.
Nailed it.
Easy. Tigers beating the Rabbitohs.
You called it.
I cannot believe the sort of underdogs the Tigers were. Do you not realise that, yes, this was 17th, but yes, it was 17th by 15th. Rabbitohs are not some fucking ladder leaders. They had their little 5-game winning streak about 47 weeks ago.
And they've been back to shit ever since.
Exactly. They were lucky this wasn't 40-0. I mean, honestly, if the ref wasn't against Tigers, seriously. Then Dragons 32-16. Where was this played?
Win.
Where was it played?
Win.
What do they do there?
Win.
So that kind of sums up the story for that one. Now this one, holy, I'm 7-7.
This was a really hard game to watch.
It was for a lot. Yeah, I
was low key very disappointed for you. I wanted you to get that 8 for 8 streak. You needed it.
And I'll get into that because you watched this game quite astutely, didn't you?
Yeah, I did through the mirror.
Yes, through the mirror. So coming into this point, I am on an all-time high because it's 7-6, right? So now I'm up 1. I'm only down 6. In this comp, you get a perfect round. You get a bonus point. You went Sharks, I went Knights.
Yeah.
So with the point, I get 8-6. That's 2 points against you. With the bonus point is 3. All of a sudden, the kid, the challenger, we talked about Apollo Creed off the canvas. With 3 rounds to go, I've cut a 7 lead into
down
4. Now you're actually starting to think, wow, kid's on here. And now you're starting to think, is this going to get in G's head? Is the downfall going to happen? Yes, that's what we were all thinking. And it was just an all-time high. And, and I was watching, and honestly, before I was in an eye, I was hovering my finger over the Sharks so often. I actually was trying to refresh the app, but in a way, so when I was scrolling my finger, that it would hit Sharks to change, but I wasn't doing it. And it was just going to be like, oh, well, that's fate. So I kept refreshing it, and I'd be just putting my finger closer and closer.
Okay. Remember, we talked about the volume, so let's.
So something George has been saying a lot about volume, and see, I really like wrestling, and I like my wrestling impressions. And for some reason, she thinks my Stone Cold Steve Austin is a bit loud.
Don't do it. I will not finish this podcast.
Well, you mentioned autistic trait of mine. Yours is clearly hearing.
It is. I'm very auditory sensitive. I can't stand it.
And I'm very...
Your auditory seeking is very combating.
I just think that people want to see my Stone Cold because it's pretty good.
Fine.
Nah, I can't do it on the spot like that.
Okay.
And I also can't. Yeah.
I should just put you on the spot.
No, I mean I could, but it's because I gotta. It's hard because obviously you hear this
Okay, can we
voice
get
and you
into
go,
the tips?
"It's not. That's. It's not a man, let alone stone cold deep voice." Mm-hmm. But I can do it.
Okay. So anyway, the Sharks and Knights game.
Yeah,
is
so
pretty
unfortunately
rough.
my refreshed thing didn't work and I kept with the Knights. And right after 2 minutes, Sharks score.
I know, but we'll get into this during the games.
Yes, they will. But anyway, it was going fantastic. And the problem was, it got to about 10 minutes and I was thinking when I do the, catch out the bag, I'm the admin behind Finn and G. Oh, it feels good to get that weight off the shoulders. So I was thinking instead of the green for the correct tips, I was going to actually make mine gold for a perfect round. And literally, no exaggeration, about 1 minute after having that thought, Ronaldo scores in the corner. Atkinson kicks that kick. It's 18-all. I'm starting to go, I gotta find me a bridge because I need a leap. Was a pretty dark place, and then obviously what happened.
Yeah. We'll get into it.
I was pretty down.
You don't say.
I was pretty down for a while. So.
Didn't talk to me for like an hour.
I think you can understand though.
All right.
Because an almost perfect round.
I know.
But do you know what the frustrating thing is? What hurts the most is that I got 7 out of 8. And it means nothing. I'm still the same distance behind. It means nothing now.
I know.
That's what hurts.
I know.
It was 7-4. And it's just 7.
I know.
So unfortunately, I'll never give up. But with 4 you can dream. With 7 you got to be delusional. That's the issue we face.
I know. So before we go into the games rounds, go through the new news for the week, for last week. So
No, I thought no. Why? Well, yeah, what news? But I think if it relates to the team, we should talk about it when in the games, like when we're talking about those teams.
Okay, that's fine. All right, first game of the round.
Well, no, if you say no, I thought that's what we discussed before.
I just wanted to go through. If not,
yeah, it's a good point.
First, I want to go through the 2024 Hall of Fame inductees.
Sure.
What do you think of them?
Good.
Great.
Good, not great. I was surprised to not see my name on there. Warriors rename a home ground to Shaun Johnson Stadium for round 25. Well, that's nice.
They won't win there though.
Yeah, it is tough. I'm trying to see them. Do you have them?
Well, you've got all your Storm players.
Oh yeah. Look, and I was gonna find it, but this is like if you want hard hitting stuff, there's other sources.
Lionel Morgan, Les Boyd.
Oh, legend, Lionel.
Ben Elias.
Oh, Ben Elias. Fucking that guy could rip and
Steve Renouf.
Yep, ran off.
Cameron Smith, Jonathan Thurston, Billy Slater, Benji Marshall, Cooper Cronk, Greg Inglis, and Sam Burgess.
How about those first 4? What are your thoughts on those ones?
The first 4 I think are great. Yeah, great.
Well, when men were men.
Yeah.
When men were men.
And then you also have like the first women, which I think is pretty cool.
Bit of a mistake, I would say.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah, and there's also coaches.
And then coaches, Wayne Bennett, and I can't find the other one. Oh, weren't they the
Jack Gibson?
Immortals? Or just...
Nah, so now you got women in there. They got the first 2 coaches, and they also got about 3 or 4 commentators.
Yeah.
And media personalities. Yeah, look, the thing I was a bit surprised, to be honest with you. Obviously, Wayne Bennett and Jack Gibson. Now, you wouldn't know Jack Gibson, but Jack Gibson is pretty much regarded as like one of the greatest coaches of all time. I think he was a coach for the Parramatta 3-peat in the 80s.
Yeah.
So he's before Bennett and that. So he was kind of the top guy, and then it was Bennett. I'm a bit surprised that Bellamy didn't get. Obviously, he will be. Now you're getting coaches. Obviously, Craig Bellamy is going to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't get in there with Bennett at the same time.
Bennett, yeah. Maybe he has to wait a bit.
But Bennett's still an active coach.
Yeah, I know, which is
Like,
just weird.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. I found that a little bit strange. But yeah, in terms of, so the Hall of Fame and Immortals are different. So Hall of Fame is like, it's a bit broader, and then the Immortals are really specific. The Immortals is a shit show because the Immortals is really hard to do because that's like your 1%.
Yeah.
Would be kind of fucked up, but
Are you going to get to the point, or are we just...
I'm trying to articulate what I'm saying because, like, for example, with an Immortal, I think you should have an Immortal for each position.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You have your 1 to 13.
Yeah.
Your Immortals.
Yeah.
I think there should only be one Immortal from each position, which would mean you'd have to
kick people off an Immortal list.
That's what I'm saying.
That's pretty brutal.
You lose that jersey. Do you know what I mean? That's pretty fucked up. But then the problem is, right, it's just hard because, right, look, so Andrew Johns is an Immortal.
Yeah.
Many would consider him the greatest 7. Queenslanders would consider Jonathan Thurston the greatest 7.
Yeah.
Cooper Cronk won 5 comps.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to be up there for greatest 7. Like, the problem is, when you have so many... I mean, the Dally M medal is named after Dally Messenger. Dally M, yes. Clive Churchill, the Clive Churchill medal.
Yeah.
Clive Churchill regarded as, the greatest ever fullback of the pre-modern era. Billy Slater, the greatest fullback ever. Do you have then 2 Immortals? Are they the same position? Like, so then are you breaking it into eras? But then at the same time, Brett Kenny and your Sterlo still aren't it. But they were the last 3 Pete before Penrith. But they're not Immortals. Are you going to induct Billy Slater, Cameron Smith in there? Just Greg Inglis? Like, I don't know. The Immortals is a bit of a mess because it's like your 1%. But the Hall of Fame, they're all very worthy. Benji Marshall, you would say, well, in some ways you would say him and Sam Burgess possibly less credentialed in terms of statistics.
Yeah.
But Benji Marshall changed the way the game was played and viewed, the step, the flick, the flair. And then Sam Burgess, one of the greatest ever English imports. And the big 3 going in there. And then those guys, those old guys. Like, it's cool.
Is Darren Lockyer in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he's already in the Hall of Fame. Because, like, you got to wait a certain amount of time. I think it's like 5 years after you retire.
Yeah.
But yes, it's great. And I think it's great that they include the women and
I like it.
The coaches and that because they're a huge part of the game. So it only makes sense. Like, the Hall of Fame should be a little bit wider. It's just, the Immortals is hard because that's your 1%. And when you have so many elite at that position, are you now all in there? And the problem is you can't compare eras.
Nah.
Like, that's very hard to do.
Yeah. Maybe there should be an Immortal from each era.
Well, that's why they do, like, teams of the decade and teams of the century and that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a bit of a mess. It wasn't your question, but anyway.
That's okay. All right, well, then on to this week's games. I'll speak about the rest in the games.
Okay, well, one of them that doesn't pertain necessarily to it is obviously the Latrell incident.
That one.
Like, TBH, I actually don't care.
No.
I actually don't care. I didn't even see anything, or I only heard about it from, like, podcasts and that. I actually don't care. Oh, a rugby league player doing cocaine. I actually don't give a shit. I don't care.
I know, but it's just
There's 16-year-olds that are doing that. I could go out right now and find lots of people doing that. It doesn't affect him as a person. It doesn't affect him as a player. It doesn't affect him, to me, as a role model.
I know, but if you're, as a professional athlete, you have a certain responsibility.
Well, the thing is, you just got to be smarter.
But
that's the thing. With all due respect, I'm not viewing him as intelligent. It's like, I'm a Conor McGregor fan, right? But I've never looked at that man once as a role model.
No.
So when these scandals happen, it's like, but you can separate. I just think it's big, and society's terrible at it, separating the art from the artist. And Latrell constantly gets blamed. Like, you just gotta be. Like, it's just.
You just gotta be smarter.
You just gotta be smarter.
It's like, how many times are you told, like, as a professional athlete, to be careful about what you post online, careful what you do online.
Well, it's not him posting it. It's people.
People
that
I know.
He's with taking a photo.
Yeah, I know.
And then, oh my god, the whole thing of like trying to not allege that, like, oh, there's no implication that it's actually drugs. And that it's like,
It's
well,
Whiz-Fizz.
it's a white powder. Yeah. So what? Yeah, I mean, it's vitamin C. He just ran out of tablets.
It's just you got to be smarter. You have to be smarter than that,
Yeah.
especially and it's hard, especially as a professional athlete. But you just have to be smarter than that.
Yeah.
It's like Val Holmes.
Yeah, it's just like
It's just stupid.
It's dumb. But with all due respect, that's kind of what I expect of these guys.
They're footballers.
That's kind of your reputation. Do you know what I mean? Like
You're footballers.
You run into each other for a living.
Anytime, and you're constantly butt taps, constantly hugging.
Again, you might be fantastic. You might be smart. You probably most of them have a better ATAR than me. But I'm just not viewing. What I think of you is not your intelligence, and that is because so often, rugby league as a whole proves that point wonderfully.
There's like a selective few, and they're generally like halves, and like your spine, except for Latrell, he's a spine member, that are generally smart. But like the front rowers and all them, they have a reputation for not being
the smartest. All of them.
The smartest people in the universe.
None of them. Have you heard Kalen Ponga talk? Have you heard Cameron Munster talk? Have you heard Nathan Cleary talk?
I know, I just mean because like Cam Smith's pretty smart.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, but
like they're
pretty fucking
smarter.
stupid. Yeah.
Like who would you think smarter? Like Luke Keary or like Jared, like Rhea Hargreaves. Okay, why are you just staring at me like that?
I don't understand your point.
Okay, don't worry.
Like I get your point.
Yeah.
I just politely. I just think we kind of cleared it up. We covered it.
That's fine. I'm
not sure why you're trying to get the semantics
That's
of it.
fine. All right, on to the next game. On to the first game.
Which was?
Storm versus Penrith.
And again, key takeaway. You've got to hit it straight off the bat. I just don't know if they can win the comp. I was really worried.
Everybody said
when Melbourne scored the first 2 tries, see, that's what alarmed me. I went, oh no, we scored after 5 minutes? Shit. And then when we scored again after another 5 minutes, you know what I said? And you can corroborate the story. I said, fuck, did we just score 2 tries? Are we 10-0 up? And then when it was 16-10? And then when we won the game?
Everybody was saying that they think that's going to be the grand final.
Yeah, after they lost. After Penrith lost.
I was saying before the game it's going to be the grand final.
Nah, look, I won't be that guy. Yeah, look, I think it is.
The only other team I think that could potentially come in is the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I'm seeing fairy tale Bulldogs.
I don't know if they can win it.
You know, again, like, I just hate rugby league media. I hate the media in general, but I'm seeing the same thing, like, on the Bulldogs quickly. Like, again, I'm constantly seeing how Melbourne apparently aren't a premiership threat. That isn't me making that up.
No.
Because obviously I think that's probably the dumbest thing in rugby league you can say right now. But that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing on all these podcasts that actually get listened to, right?
Yeah.
Something in the water. I'm hearing the so-called experts on Channel 9 and KO that these guys get paid to talk rugby league.
Yeah, I know.
They're questioning the credentials. At the same time, the 5th place Bulldogs, who have been on this form for a long time, long part of the season, I'm hearing, are they a top 4 side? Well, bruh, if they win one more game, then yes, actually they will be. How can you be? I don't understand. Like, how can you keep they've been 5th place.
The only one that I've seen is good about them is like Billy said, like they have the attack or they have one of the two. They have the attack or the defense to win the comp.
The Bulldogs had the defense, but then their attack is getting. They've had the defense all year.
Yeah.
Their attack is getting better and better.
So it's like, will they have the attack in the high pressure moments to win the comp? They have the defense.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into the Bulldogs. Yeah. And I just wanted to. But yeah, this game, unfortunately, I was watching Georgia play netball, which, like, obviously favourite thing to do, except for the fact loses most games. And this game, she was up. And this isn't Georgia's fault. It's just, unfortunately, apparently there aren't too many people in the Illawarra that know how to play netball. Like, and it's actually not that hard. Especially if you're a shooter. Now, with all due respect, I'm of the understanding that if you're a shooter, your goal is your job is to shoot the ball in the basket.
The ring.
Yeah, the hoop.
The ring.
The basket. So your job is to shoot the ball in the ring.
Thank you. Yes.
Unfortunately, no one in the Illawarra knows how to do that. And I won't get into names because I don't know them. Because I would only know their names if they did their job. So, it's pretty tough most Thursdays. Like, I want to be supportive because I think that's what we think of me as.
Yeah, that's one word.
Yeah. So, thanks for that. That actually means a lot. So, I do sacrifice 6 hours of my time because I have to get up there, get back, watch it. Anyway, and this was, again, the grand final preview in many people's eyes, including my own. So I didn't get to watch the first half, and then the second half was in the car. So, not ideal. Not holding that against you. Not holding that against you.
Okay.
But, yeah, look, so I didn't get to watch everything, unfortunately, but I'll start with Melbourne first. Look, yeah, we helped beat Penrith already once this year. We've beat the Roosters, we beat the Dogs.
You beat everyone.
We beat everyone. But we have a loss to Manly. So the losses, we've lost 4 times this year. I think the first loss was against Knights when that was when everyone was injured. All the spine was injured.
Yeah, you lost by 2 in Newcastle. We lost,
because I tipped Newcastle.
Yeah, your whole spine was injured.
It was just Pappy, that was it. And obviously Pappy's only just come back.
Yeah.
So we lost that game. We lost to the Dragons by 2 points.
Yeah.
We lost to Manly at Manly in Origin. Again, all injuries.
All your Origin players
I think we only lost by, again, about 2 points.
Yeah.
And then we've got one other loss on the record to someone. I can't think of it, but
I don't know. It was the Sharks. The Sharks beat you in Melbourne.
By 2 points.
When they were on fire.
Or by 1 point. 2.1 point.
It was close. The Sharks.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Either way, that's our losses this year unless the Manly game. Either way, all of them at the very worst under 6 points.
Yet Penrith only just beat 17th place, are in a premiership threat.
They only just beat the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They only just beat Eels. And this was... And you know what was frustrating about this game? And in this game you had... So anyway, it's hard for me not to be unbiased. It's actually important.
I know.
You know
so while you talk about this, I really need to pee. So I'd like you to finish this game, and I'll be right back.
Go for it. You'll come back, and I'll still be talking about it.
I know.
Hey! No skid marks, please. I'm sick of getting blamed for them. But look, it's a difficult one for me to not be the bias, and I actually hate when you listen to And look, a big shout out, Bloke in the Bar. I like the podcast, but I can't stand how they don't want to be biased and pretend that everything is positive and everything is you can't say how a game is, you can't say how something is, you can't say how you feel. I really don't understand that. Me, yes, I'm biased out the wazoo. Okay, I'm Melbourne through and through. Now we score, and it's going great, and it's 10-0, and you're thinking thanks for coming. But Penrith will never give up. So then it's 10-10 all of a sudden. It's blow for blow. You're going, okay, we score next, 16-10. Then the calamity happens. Right in the stroke of half-time, we get the 20-metre tap. Pappy kicks for touch. Finds it. It's a peach of a kick, peach of a play. We'll get the ball up the field with, 10 seconds to go. One play. Penrith challenge. Win the challenge because they challenged that he tapped. He didn't tap, but... Howarth was 10 centimetres offside. It's just rules are rules, but sometimes I just think it's so pedantic. Did that have any effect on the play? Obviously not. Anyway, they kicked the 2-16-12, whatever. I wasn't nervous at all. Before that, I'm forgetting the obstruction call. Or lack of obstruction call. That was the first try, of course, off the scrum. Jack Howarth runs the line. And to me, it's just... And Cleary backs out the scrum. To me, that's just a pure accident. There was no intent for Howarth to take him out. There was no intent for Cleary to run into him. And it happened so quick to the scrum, and the try went out. I don't think there was any advantage taken. And I think it's absolutely play on, because if you watch the replay, it's Isaac Tungo that makes the defensive decision to also... Because while Cleary and Howarth collide, Isaac Tungo has sprinted in to make the tackle. He makes a poor read, the defensive decision, and that's actually where the gap is created. So I think that was a brilliant decision by the ref and the bunker. Absolutely try. And I've been hearing Timmy Williams talk about SC Playbook, talk about how he's been noticing the trend of, these obstruction... Did you...
I didn't.
I'm just so fucking sick of getting blamed for him. So sick.
Vinton.
Yes, but obstructionist calls getting called a bit, and I think, and it is. I hate patting. I hate patting us in the back.
Yeah.
And I absolutely. The last thing I ever want to do is like give myself raps. And,
Yeah.
And give. Well, I hate giving you raps.
Yeah.
But me especially.
Yeah.
But. Pardon me. I think it's clear. You know how we were very hard on.
Okay, can I stop you for a little second? I was like, I'm not gonna make it through this episode if we keep going on for this long. I need to.
I'll be in frank with you. It's the only game I care about.
Okay.
So, if that's okay with you.
Okay. But just stick to the game. Just if you can try your best.
That's actually what I'm talking about. Because I'm not sure if you realized, but when you were outside the room, you weren't here. So yeah. I was talking.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
So I'm talking about, but what I'm trying to say is, do you remember when we went very hard on guys flopping for obstruction calls?
Yes.
And saying they should be sin binned?
Yeah.
One of us may have said they should be shot.
Yeah.
I won't say which.
Yeah.
You do have a violent streak though, and I think people have noticed it. But since then, now you're actually seeing guys aren't flopping for calls.
No.
And these, like I was just mentioning, the first try Melbourne scored was when Cleary and Health collided.
Yeah.
And they went at the back, and some people saying it should have been obstruction. The ref they gave it a call. They gave it a try. I know I'm saying that. I think it's absolutely the right decision because it was clear that collision was accidental, and the actual gap that was made by Tungo rushing in.
Yeah.
A poor defensive decision. He actually is the one that created the gap.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely playing. I'm just saying that's a pat in the back for us.
The refs are listening.
It's like no one else. No one listens except the people that matter.
Yeah.
Because every time we've talked about something like that,
yeah,
off the top of my head, I'm Connor, what's an origin?
Yeah.
Fuck me. Watch the tape. We're the first to say it.
Yeah.
These obstruction calls. All of a sudden we say downhill decline. So I guess that's bitter.
It's
so obviously fucking Gus or someone's one of the four. Yeah. He's one of them. But yes. Anyway. Melbourne.
Turn the brightness down, please. Sorry.
That's all right. Running repairs.
Thanks.
God, my back is itchy. And you know it's a problem.
Part of me. So energetic today.
Yeah. I had a shot of coffee in my protein shake. It was fucking fantastic. It was so good.
Never again.
Caffeine doesn't affect me.
So
my back is so fucking itchy. But you know what I hate with this chair, right? Because we used to have the matching chairs. We still have it. This chair just...
This is so hard to listen to as someone who doesn't have ADHD.
If Gus Gould's one of our listeners, I'm sure that guy has it.
Okay, moving on. Next game of the round.
I'm not moving on. What I want to say is, yes, Melbourne won. They played great. I wanted to say... Another one of the big calls was obviously when Nelson gets sin binned for basically doesn't hit Laurie in the head at all. Only almost knocks out Munster.
Yeah.
He ends up swinging arm. He hits Munster.
Yeah.
And now Munster's out and we lose Nelson for a sin bin. But meanwhile, Penrith do two worse ones. They do one on... It's like, so I just don't understand. Something that's becoming really, really murky, and this round really was bad for me, is that why I've never seen so many head highs and that aren't head highs. Like they were not hitting their head.
I know, they're just bumping up from the shoulder.
But they're not, or even they're not. There was ones that were just like on the chest.
Yeah. Like
this one, he sandwiches them. He doesn't hit his head at all. And he gets sin bin. Meanwhile, I think it was Mitch Kenny later in the game. He head highs Grant Anderson, who had to go off. He had to go off.
Yeah.
HIA, but it's not a sin bin.
But it's not a sin bin. That's what I said. I'm finding really hard to, kind of understand like the head high rule as someone who doesn't play football.
Well, it's fucking stupid. You don't have to play football to think it's stupid. But I also don't think he should have. But anyway, and Wishart coming on, I love that. Although it was weird. Last week he came on with 50 to go. This week it was the opposite. He came on with 30 to go. But he scores a try straight away. He's a stud. I want him with 13. At 14 he's playing great. Nelson's playing better. We absolutely can win the comp. I think it's absolutely ludicrous to think we can't. And even, again, that game, we did it without Munster and without Nelson for that 10-minute period.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of the big takeaways from the game is obviously Cleary being injured.
Yeah.
And said as soon as it happened, that'll be why they lost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Cleary would have nailed the 2-point field goal at the end.
If we don't have Munster go off, like, we had to have Munster for 15 minutes off.
Yeah, I know.
They only had Cleary off for about 7.
Yeah, I know.
But, yeah, like, Penrith aren't playing great this year. That's why I don't understand why people still have them as such...
It's because they know that they can turn it on.
Yeah, which is incredible. No one can turn it on like them. And obviously, they've won the last 3 comps. They can win the comp. Absolutely. There's no doubt. And they can do it without Cleary. No doubt about it. But they're not playing great this year. And this game, again, it highlighted another trend in the Penrith game is how many times it isn't Cleary or Luai kicking on the fifth. Yeah. It's a back rower. Mav Guy would kick 2 or 3 this game. Or it's a centre. Or it's a front rower. Like, it's quite clunky.
It looks a lot more clunky than normal, which is they've had a lot of people out as well. So Cleary's been out for a while, and then now only Dylan Edwards is only just coming back. So
yeah,
it's just had their key players. So it's looking very clunky.
They've had Mitch Kenny all year. They've had Luai all year.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just a bit... It's not looking great. And they lost. So I guess, and Cleary apparently back for finals. It doesn't matter. They can win without him. They can win with them. And again, the way the media is like, they're acting like he did an ACL.
Yeah, literally. He's not even going to be out for 3 weeks.
Fucking poor old Munster's getting double hip surgery at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Holy! But the way Penrith are going to be a top 4.
Yeah.
Apparently will be back for finals.
Yeah.
Even if he's not, it is a bit funny to me. And again, that's not his fault.
It's just the media.
But they're like, it's acting like he got shot.
Yeah, I know.
Or he died.
Yeah.
He just did a shoulder.
Yeah.
He'll actually be fine. And so will Penrith. Next game, G is running on fumes here. I think, it was like we started off so good.
Yeah.
But look, we'll try to pick it up. Oh, do you know what could pick it up?
You're just incredibly loud, and I'm just incredibly drained. It's just the volume. It's just so loud. It really
if I be a bit quieter.
Me. Yeah, that
I'll
would
try
be very
to be a bit
helpful.
quieter.
Be very helpful.
I was going to say something that could be helpful with my stone cold
Don't.
Well, this game, unfortunately, is this too loud? But that's my normal voice.
No, this is good. That's your normal voice.
I'm expressive.
I know, and it's just very hard for me.
I have a lot of Italian in me, and you know that about me.
Okay, keep going. And you're just jumping your stories. You're being very erratic, and I'm trying to keep you on a...
That's why I said I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I know. But otherwise, the episodes go for 2 hours, and I'm not doing that.
Well, the last one went for 47 minutes.
I know. So we're already freaking beating that.
And how much better is it? Look at that. She's smiling. Yes, Manly... And that's the thing. I didn't get to watch half the... Manly defeat the Warriors 24-10. I didn't get to watch it. I was in the famous town of Woy Woy. And...
it was a good game.
Yeah, see, I was actually thinking about driving back, and I was shocked to see it would absolutely pissing rain. I wasn't expecting that, but
yeah.
So I didn't get to watch this game, but Manly win. The Warriors, I want to believe in them.
They haven't changed since the beginning of the season. They couldn't play 80 minutes, and they still can't play 80 minutes. They can play a good 20 to 30, but they cannot put any more together. And it's just so upsetting because everyone was up the wires. They have the most supportive fan base.
Seriously. I know, I agree. But it's just they're limping home. If I quickly just go back to round 15.
Yeah.
They got pumped by Melbourne. Then the next week, 66-6 to Titans. The next week, they beat the Broncos.
Yeah.
Then they lost to the Bulldogs by 1.
Yeah.
Then by round 20, they lose by 2 to the Raiders. The next round, they beat the Tigers, but I went the Tigers, so fuck them. The next round, to round 22, they get pumped by the Eels.
Eels, yeah.
At New Zealand.
Which is just so bizarre.
The next week, they back that up by losing by 2 to the Dolphins. Then this week, they
got pumped by Manly.
By 14 to Manly. they just, for some reason this year, it's just hard because with the second year syndrome, and I said I think they're probably the team to miss the 8, but you didn't want to believe it because you're right. And it was such a movement.
Everyone was up the wires.
And they had such an identity, and it's just crazy to see the identity's gone. This year, they haven't played football until about the 60th minute.
No.
And they're just, but last year...
Or they played for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. They either burst out the gates and then fall apart, or they are terrible and then just play once a game is too far.
And it's like, I don't understand. It's like, if it's that logic, they should be able to come back out after half time and give some kind of good football. But I kind of thought they were going this way ever since they lost to the Dragons at Wynn Entertainment Centre.
Yeah.
That was early on in the season. But Manly, the team they're playing, are on some kind of they're on the Knights run that the Knights had at the end of last year.
Well, yeah,
they've got themselves safe and well in the 8.
6, I think. Yeah. If we look at Manly in contrast, they won this week. Last week they're
on the Wars run and the Knights run that they both had last year.
So then they only just lost to Roosters, but yeah, they're on a bit of a they're on a purple patch.
Yeah,
they're a team.
You just don't know what you're gonna get from Manly.
It is a weird top 8.
It's such a top because Manly, again, I think on a good day they can beat anyone in the 8.
Yeah.
On a good day, because when they get on their run, especially with their team and Cherry Evans, Turbo, when they get on a run, they are so hard to beat.
Yeah, if they get momentum.
They are so hard to beat, but they make so many errors.
And it's because if you just look at the top 8, so Melbourne and Penrith and Roosters makes perfect sense, top 3.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Sharks.
At the beginning of the year, yes.
You've got to give... I've been shitting on the Sharks all year, but not shitting them, but I can't understand how they are still in the top 4.
It's because they had such a good start to the season.
And then they've won 4 out of the last 5 or something.
Yeah. They've only just won.
Yeah. It is full credit to them, but my point is they've been up and down. So Melbourne Storm Roosters makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Sharks been up and down. The Bulldogs...
Makes sense. For me.
Ever since about round 10 or whatever, it makes perfect sense. Yeah. Manly at 6, that doesn't make sense. Haven't had a great season. The Cowboys at 7.
No.
And the Dragons at 8.
I think the Dragons had a better season. But it's still been one good game, one bad game.
Exactly. Dragons...
One good game, 2 bad games. Or 2 good games, 1 bad game.
Dragons and Cowboys are both in the same position. Neither of them complete 2 good games in a row.
No.
They can't do it. And Manly goes on streaks. Yeah, anyway, so full credit to Manly.
Except this week, because they're playing at Win 2 weeks in a row. Go the Dragons.
That's going to really test our theory.
Go the Dragons.
Against the Sharkies. That'll really test our theory. But, yeah, look, go Manly, I guess.
Go Manly. Yeah. It was a good game. Turbo had a great game.
But you're right. Them and a Knights run. Because I've been trying to think... See, up until last round, I thought it was I was getting the Knights vibes last year from the Titans.
Yeah.
And so was everyone. And you were thinking, the Titans, and then they got pumped. And then they backed it up by getting pumped. So, not the Titans.
It's kind of Manly. Manly and the Dragons, a little bit. I feel like
Dragons...
But they've kind of been there.
But no, they haven't... Well, no, they haven't been there, but it's a different vibe. Yeah. Knights was they're winning, and it's this high.
The Dragons was such a... Everyone was on the Knights.
Dragons are just ugly...
Ugly winning.
Tough team that is just scraping by.
But then they have these fantastic games where they beat Melbourne and Penrith.
Yeah. But it's Knights was
wow.
You want to watch them. Yeah. Dragons I don't want to watch them, but
go the Dragons.
They're overachieving. Cowboys it's the Dogs. It's actually the Dogs.
It's the Dogs.
Yeah.
The Dogs
Dumbass. It's obviously the Dogs.
But I feel like the Dogs are
but they're established
Broncos
now.
from last year. The Broncos were established in the top 8 last year. It was the Broncos and Penrith last year.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Dogs, it's everyone expects
Well, that's true. They've been in there for a while. It's Manly making the late push. Anyway, on to the next game. The Roosters 38 defeat Parramatta 14. Another wet weather game. It
was so wet, and they put in a lot about the drainage because there was only honestly a half an hour storm, but you would have thought that field had been raining for weeks.
Well, that's why I was shocked.
It was terrible.
I was shocked again. I'm in the car camping at Woy shout out. watching it, and yeah, I was shocked. It wasn't raining
insane
where I was at all, and where I was like an hour and a half from Sydney.
Yeah,
I look
it stormed here for like 20 minutes, and that's it. And then same in Sydney. And only, like Gal said, only rained for like 20, 30 minutes. And that was, I know it was heavy, but there should be some kind of drainage. And it's a new stadium as well. Like, it's been redone.
Well, when they mentioned the stadium, I thought they were joking or something.
No.
And then actually looking at it, it's like, yeah,
that
does make sense. A brand new billion-dollar stadium, I think it was
it's the Roosters.
It's like a I can't think of the number, but it's a multi-billion-dollar stadium.
Yeah, it's the Roosters' home ground.
Yeah, but it's also it is the Roosters' home, but it's also it's
a good,
it's a big stadium. Like lots of things that play there. The Matildas play there. The Socceroos play there. The Wallabies play there.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
The rain was crazy.
The fucking local park drains quicker than that. But that was crazy. So it was a pretty ugly game.
It was a very ugly game with the rain. Roosters started off great, but their discipline, they still can't hold out teams.
I think in the first 10 minutes, there's about 11 errors.
There was. But it was just so slippery.
Yeah.
They were like sliding like 20 meters.
It was a proper mud bath.
It was. But it looked like it was a fun game.
But yeah, like the Roosters get the job done. I mean, I feel bad for Parramatta. I do. You could just see they didn't. They pushed. Well, they beat the Wars, then they pushed Penrith to the death, and
I think that was
just had nothing.
It. No, but hopefully maybe this week. Well, they could actually be better with a spoon.
Yeah, we're looking. Everyone's looking forward to the Spoon Bowl, 6th of September. I'm pretty sure that's round. I'm pretty sure it's the last round.
It's the last round,
potentially for the Spoon.
It is because the Tigers are only 2 points away now, and they really don't want to three-peat.
Tigers, that's their 5th win this year.
Yeah.
The other 4 have both been back-to-backs. Mm-hmm. So when the Tigers win, they win back-to-back.
They win. And they've got a pretty decent run home.
Well, jumping ahead, Thursday Night Football. It's Tigers versus Manly. I'm just laughing at... so, obviously, when I was in a bit of a rut, so I've already tipped this round from like 10 weeks ago. I tipped Tigers to win by 20 points. So I might change that. I might actually change that.
You were really depressed.
Yeah.
I've gone Manly by 16, but we'll get into that. Anyway, next game.
Wait, you think every time the Tigers win, they win back to back?
I know, but I just don't think they win against Manly. All right, next game.
The Bulldogs defeat the Dolphins 30-10. For 60 minutes, it was very close. It was about 12-10, and then the Dogs, their brand of football is so impressive because their defense is rock solid and they are such a patient team. Again, for 60 minutes, they were happy to only have like a 4-point lead. And then when they get it, finally the other team breaks down.
Yeah.
1 try, 2 tries, 3 tries, 4 tries, bang, 4 tries, space 10 minutes. It is. He was the assistant coach there.
Yeah.
He was the defensive mastermind there. And you were seeing why.
It's very Penrith-like.
They're incredible.
And they've got
watch.
Burton and Crichton, and my favorite part of that game was the hammer, hunting down the fox.
Yeah, chasing was incredible.
That was insane.
Holy.
His closing speed.
Yeah, it was. But Jesus Christ, like the amount of times they've talked about it. And they talked about that game. And so the whole time in commentary, they don't shut the fuck up about it. Half-time, they dedicate the whole 10 minutes half-time talking about it. Then after the game, poor old Jakey Duke is fucking asking Reed Marnie what it was like to watch. Bro, I don't think he actually gave a shit about the Hammer chasing down his own teammate. I don't think Kick-Out cares. And then they're asking the Fox, and then they have the Fox and Hammer interview together. And then they're having it as the night highlights. It's like,
It was a bit overkill.
It was cool. It was impressive. Like Hammer Fox looked gone for all money, and the last 10 meters, way Hammer just burned it. It actually looks like it looks like he's fast forwarding.
Yeah,
because he's a phenomenon in the way that he never looks like he's trying.
No,
like Fox looked like he was trying.
Yeah, Hammer just looked like he was just cruising in.
Like he really does have that Usain Bolt style where they don't look like they're trying.
Like a killer whale, just like. Choo.
I think that's exact. That is, and I remember in the Olympics they used to say that about Usain Bolt. They used to call him the orca.
No,
they always compared him to a whale. Sprinters and whales, yeah. That's another one for G. So it was incredible, but the fucking incredible. But that's actually all. This conversation right here, it's kind of all you need to talk about it. It was an incredible tackle. I'm still more impressed personally by Tom Dearden chasing down Cobbo.
Cobbo, yeah, that was honestly,
Like
that
the
was
little
so
sausage
much
legs
better.
chasing down the 6'4" freak. Do you know what I mean? Then but yeah, obviously it was cool, and it'd be cool to see the rematch, and
It was just the closing speed that I found so impressive.
it's just that last 10
It's
meters.
the last 10 meters that was
so
because Fox
impressive.
didn't slow down.
No,
That's what I found so impressive.
I've watched that last 10 meters like
Fox
20 times.
Kept the same speed, like he was sprinting,
Yeah.
like how he would sprint 100 meters, and it's just Hammer was like sprinting, and then he somehow found another level. That's what I found so impressive. But yeah, the Dolphins. I tipped them because I thought this was a thing where everyone thinks the Dogs are going to win, so therefore the Dolphins will win. But turns out that theory is no longer a thing.
No, the Dolphins are.
The Dolphins are
they're
just
a pick 'em.
done.
They're a pick 'em.
Their second year in the comp, they've done really well, but I just think they're a bit exhausted.
It's the same as last year.
They're just
Except
exhausted.
it's not as dramatic, but
No.
they've run out of puff.
They have, but that's okay. They've done well.
But that's what happens. Like the halfback leading him around is 19.
Yeah.
Think of what this guy's gonna be like at 25. Do you know
It's
what I
gonna
mean?
be scary.
Look at this experience.
Yeah.
You know, they've just run out of puff, unfortunately, and the aging pack.
But they've done incredibly well.
Yeah.
But good on the Dogs.
It's just a hard loss because now they're 2 points out the 8 because the Dragons won. So now the whole game behind
But the lucky the Dragons for and against is so bad.
It's actually horrendous.
It's
diabolical. So
it's like the Raiders last year.
It is. They're like minus 92 and they're 8. So the Dragons can't lose. And the Dolphins just need to win. Like,
yeah.
It is, yeah.
Next game.
But yeah, the Bulldogs, incredibly impressive. Next game, Cowboys defeat the Raiders 42-4. I
Raiders.
didn't get to watch this game, but it just... And I thought about going to the Raiders because I remember the last time it was the Cowboys Raiders, and I was again on a famous car camp bushwalk, and I remember listening on the radio to this time, and I remember the Raiders almost scored twice in the first 5 minutes, both disallowed, and then after that it was 30-0, and it was a tough listen, And so that's why I went the Raiders, the Cowboys, and it looks like this game played out almost the exact same fashion.
I just don't know how to feel about the Raiders. Like, I thought with Jamal Fogarty coming back, you know, they played like a really good couple of games, but then they just have some like real stinkers.
Well,
it's like, and the Cowboys are so inconsistent, but then when they're on, they're on.
Well, as we look back, you know, again, we've done, you know,
they're
on a 3-game losing streak.
It's so hard to
You look at this, they just lost to the Bulldogs at Belmore, 22-18. Then they follow that up by getting pumped by Manly 24-46.
Yeah.
I went Raiders. And then they back it up by getting pumped 42-4. An outfit that you don't attribute points and attacking flair with the Raiders, but you attribute grit and heart.
Well, that's like last year. I was like, they didn't like win or lose games more by more than 10 points.
They didn't win a single game all year by 13.
By 13. And same and with losing games last year. But this year, all of their wins and losses have been like above
Big
13.
wins, terrible losses.
Yeah. It's just crazy. But the next game... Oh, sorry.
And Val, again... Look what happens when a guy gets, you know, Val officially 3-year deal at the Dragons.
Going to the Dragons. He's coming to the Gong.
It's a perfect like for Zach Lomax, honestly. And again, like Val, he's gotten shit this year from us. It's just his defense. His attack, he's still been unreal. And look what happens. Gets signed, weight off his shoulders, comes out for 3 tries.
Yeah.
3 tries and 26 points. So he actually can still play. It's his defense.
People are allowed to have bad down years.
His defense... but his attack has still been there. It's just his defense. And for one of his tries, he runs the best, like, hard center line in the comp, and it's not close. You could explain that.
Yeah, so, like, in what context, though? Like, when he's got the ball, or as a decoy?
Yeah, so, like, you know, like, just the hard center line.
Yeah, he's just running, and he just runs, like, straight and hard, and he either draws the defense in, or they throw him the ball.
I had to rub my... I thought that I was sitting next to Gus Gould, the way you described that.
Am I right?
No. So, look, I'm not the most technical, but what I'm describing, potentially not called centre line, but when, you know, you're close attacking the try line, and just the centre... It's what I was trying to teach in OzTag, so clearly didn't get through. But when the centre, like, runs just that hard, slight diagonal line... and so the half is kind of this way, and
Yeah.
they do that just hard short ball, and this center or back
Just
row
explodes.
just fucking explode, and it's a brave line.
That's like Bradman best.
Yeah, it's brave because they're bursting through the gap between the two defenders.
Yeah.
He does it better than anyone. He runs that hard.
Even better than Angus Crichton.
Yeah, you just watch it. Like that one of his tries.
Yeah.
He's perfect because again, you can get whacked on that. It's a real brave line because the half has to go into the line, short hard ball across the defender, bang, diagonal at the line.
Nailed it.
And that,
I nailed
I'm gonna
it.
start calling you Gus. You did nail
I
that.
did kind of get this.
Well, you said he runs hard straight. Well, your first question is this with the ball or without? That threw a little bit off. Threw me a little bit off.
Yeah, like men didn't want contact. So anyway, on to the next game of the round.
Yeah, game of the round.
15th versus 17th. Go the Tigers, who nearly blew it.
If you were to look up barn burner in the dictionary, you'd see this game.
My favourite part of this game was the Rabbitohs thinking that they'd scored a try, but then the touchy caused a great forward pass.
To be honest with you,
It was a
with all
forward
due respect,
pass.
it's probably the only highlight of this game.
Yeah, and the forward pass, they go over to score, and then it cuts to the Rabbitohs coaching box, who are going ballistic. And then it still cuts to them as they realise that the try didn't count. And then
that was tough.
It was
so fucking funny, but it was so tough. I thought of Davey Fernando, but they're up
and like the
about
commentators
cheering.
thought it was like the Tigers box, and they're like, "Oh no, it's the Rabbitohs."
Because with the Latrell, they would have had a tough week. They've had a tough year. That was tough. But you're right. Again, we've been very critical of touchies.
But that was a great call, and it was very
Brilliant
forward,
call.
and it was very forward.
It was just calmer because, like, literally the play before, Jack Wyman threw a very questionable. It definitely goes forward.
Yeah, but
I'm not positive it was out of the hands forward.
Yeah,
but that one was questionable.
Yeah,
it plays on, and the commentators are questioning. Well, that clearly went forward. The very next play, blatant forward.
They're like,
pass.
it's through. No, it's a forward pass. It was just. I think that pretty much sums up the game.
It's the only highlight.
It's the only highlight of that
happened
game.
in the last play of the game.
But go the Tigers! I'm so glad that they won.
If you didn't go the Tigers, what's in your head?
No, rocks.
And there it is. I mean, the Tigers get football, and that's why, honestly, maybe me from a few weeks ago, angry and mad, fucking
was onto something.
Winning by 20 against Manly.
I can't believe you tipped the Tigers to win 20 against.
Imagine it happens.
I could see you just being like
so.
I could see you being so pissed off. Just
I don't remember that. I kind of blacked it out, but it is funny. Even this round, they're all set.
We'll go through it next. We got 2 more games to do.
Yep. This one didn't get to see it, but the Dragons defeat the Titans 32-16.
Go the Dragons.
Well, see, ironically, a listener of the show, Zach. Now he sends me a message. So this game started at 2. It's about 2:05, and he says, "Wow, what a start by the Titans." And you look on again, after 90 seconds, it's 6-0. Then in the following 10 minutes, the Dragons score 2 tries, and all of a sudden, it's 10-6, and you're going, well, that's the Titans we know and love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, if you tip the Titans, you don't want them scoring first.
No.
And if you tip against them, thank God. Get 30 on the board quickly. Because after that, they were in shambles. It was 26-6 at half time.
Yeah. They were in absolute shambles.
Dragons scored 5 tries. But then in the second half, all of a sudden, the Titans remember how to play defense. Then they score 2 tries. All of a sudden, you're going, wow, Dragons get one. They win 32-16. Dragons showing grit, showing they can win at home, which is what you've known. But the Titans, they're still the most frustrating franchise in rugby league.
They're so frustrating. The amount of times I've tipped them, it's like they smash the Broncos and then they've got flogged the next 2 weeks. I don't understand it. Them, the Raiders, and the Warriors, most frustrating franchise.
Well, the Raiders, no one cares about. All due respect. The Warriors only have one good year. All due respect.
Yeah, but this year in rugby league, frustrating.
But I mean, just franchise. The Titans do this every year. Every year they show a patch where you go, they can do it. Every year you think they can attack, can they just defend? Every year. This year again, just a few weeks ago, they'd won 3 or 4 in a row, 5 out of 6. storming for the 8, and now they've got pumped 2 weeks in a row.
I know. It's so hard. I cannot stand the Titans.
And AJ Brimson got 10 minutes of game time.
Why?
Real headache. Keeney has killed it at 1. It is a real shit show, but this is their management. It's what they deserve. Brimson's the best player. He's the best player at that club, period.
Yeah. You need to play him.
But now Keeney's been so fucking good, I don't think you can take Keeney out of fullback. So then, the other position is 6. Jane Campbell's been really good at 6 all of a sudden. I don't know if you want to take him out of 6. Brimson in the centres has been proven it's a waste. So they had him at 14, and he didn't come on until the 70th minute. But then, and he was coming on at hooker. It's just...
Why didn't they play him at 13?
Oh, it's a real mess. I don't know. And I just feel bad. It's hard sometimes when you see, great players be loyal to bad teams.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
bittersweet.
like Luke Brooks and the Tigers.
It's bittersweet. Because they don't get the respect they deserve. And you're watching them and you just know, it's like, if he was at Melbourne or Penrith Roosters, he'd be regarded as one of the best players in the club.
Oh, 100%.
It's like the same with Tino. What I would give for them to come to Melbourne. For Tino to come back. And
Well,
apparently
Tino
Melbourne
left.
tried to get him back.
Why did he
before
leave?
signed the deal. Well, that year he was when Melbourne had him, he was only 19.
Oh, okay.
And then they fucking gave him huge money and captain. It makes complete sense that he left. But
Yeah.
in the last 2 years ago, before he re-signed, Melbourne
So
tried to
you
get him
want
back.
game time at a bad club, or do you want to learn and develop at a good club with less game time? It's like it's a big.
It's just tough. It's sad to see. So
Anyway.
the next year is going to be a big decision. Keeping all 3 of them was always a mistake.
Yeah, 100%.
Because none of them should be on the bench.
Just let someone go. Give them to the freaking Tigers.
It's serious. What the Tigers, they'd honestly they'd give the Titans ownership rights.
Yeah.
They'll go, fuck it, we'll call ourselves the West Titans. Can you just honestly give us any of the
Imagine that.
one of the 3? We don't give it. We actually don't care. Who.
I know.
Just
They'll have a spine if they have Brimson, Luai, Galvin, and Appy. That's a spine.
Yeah. And it's just honestly, the Titans should just mystery bat, just lucky hat. Put the 3 here, put Keeney, Campbell, and Brimson in a hat. Mm-hmm. Pick one out and go, hey, bro, you got to go to the Tigers. Sorry.
And the last game of the round.
Don't actually want to talk about it.
The Sharks defeat the Knights by 1.
Yep, 19-18.
It was a lot of tough calls in that game. Jared Sutton.
Oh my
Don't know.
days.
I think I should talk about this one. Don't know if he should have been reffing the game. This is where the obstruction calls came back into it all of a sudden, where the Knights and the Sharks both took field goal attempt, both made it, both got called for escorts.
For blocker call.
Blocker call.
It's fucking stupid. A blocker call that didn't impact. So the whole point of blocker call is that, so if you're setting up for a field goal and you have your guys, your attackers, go in front of the kicker and essentially knock or block the defenders from getting to the kicker.
Yeah.
Although that didn't happen. So Kaylin, with 2 minutes to go, nails the field goal. You're going, thank God, perfect round. I'm in with the chance.
But this is where it actually gets messy.
It gets messy because they challenge it. Because they still have their challenge. You see, clear as day, he is not impacted at all. Will Kennedy is not... There's no impingement.
And he's 4 meters offside.
Whatsoever. They're also blatantly offside.
So it should have been a penalty.
It should have, ironically, been a penalty for the Knights. Goal in front. It's game over. Because they would have wasted all the time. It's game over. No. Challenge unsuccessful, blocks and thing. You're going, that's pathetic.
Yeah.
90 seconds later,
Same
the
thing.
Sharks do the exact same play, the exact same setup. The only saving grace is that it was consistent.
Yeah.
Theirs was taken off them. It shouldn't have. It should have been a field goal.
But theirs was taken off them.
That's the only saving grace is that it was consistent.
So it's in that game, in that sense, it's okay, fair game.
But it was ridiculous.
But it was ridiculous.
In this game, again, another one with the phantom high tackles. Dead said any penalty. Fucking he was asking.
But I think it's dead set mental for him because he's got the freaking bunker
No,
in his
but
head.
I'm saying no. But what I'm saying is like even like he was calling offsides, right? And he'd be asking to check for head contact.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
You don't. Yeah, there was one where the try he asked for head contact. It gets cleared from the bunker, and then he asks again. So you cleared head contact? Yeah, bruh. He wasn't even close to the head. Like it was like
He's just got no idea.
He was going out of his way to try and get head highs than that.
It's like you've got to let the game. It's like the game has rules, right, that keep it in there. But if you're called absolutely everything to like a T, you're just ruining the game. You're just looking for stuff. Like if they're not complaining, if the game's flowing, then go for it. That's why I like about. I can't remember what game it was. I didn't know. It was at the Origin 2 game where the ref was like, I'm not deciding the game. Or there was a game that was so close.
Yeah, that was the grand final with Adam G.
The Adam G, yeah. And I just loved it. And it's like, because he wasn't deciding the game. He was letting them decide the game.
Point of the ref. It's like when
it's like, yeah, there was bad stuff. And unless it was really bad, it was called. But there was bad stuff going both ways. And he was letting it go. And he was like being the one going, I'm not going to decide this game unless it's blatant.
Well, it's a feel for the game.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. And he should have that. And it's like people feel bad for them. I'm like, but this is his job.
Yeah.
He gets so much training.
Yeah.
And he's been doing it for such a long time. This is his job. If he doesn't have game awareness now, he's never going to have it. Go to Bali. Go on a boys' retreat with Ashley Klein.
Yeah, him and Ashley, like, boys, get in the piss because seriously, you might ref better. And it's like Ashley likes to make it about himself.
Oh, loves it.
Like, that's his calls. Jared, though, the bloke looks terrified. He loves to call everything.
Is that this? With this? Did I miss this? Did I miss this? What's this?
Oh, even when it's cleared. So you checked it?
Oh.
Yes. And then even, oh my God, right in the show at halftime, the pro night.
He needs a sports psych. That's what he needs.
Halfback gets sin bin for a professional foul. For what? There's 3 seconds on the clock is about to expire. He holds him what? A second longer. But
there was no chance that they were going to... They were just going to kick... There was no chance.
It happens every single time. The ball in that situation, every time. And he's not even holding him on for any crazy length. He doesn't bring him back to the ground.
And he wasn't with strength. He could have easily stood up.
And on halftime, with no hesitation, sin bin.
Ugh.
Are you serious?
It's just like... He's just trying to like take out the... There's
no feel for the game.
There's no feel for the game. I was like, there's going to be drama. There's going to be like, he's just not letting it go. It's very frustrating.
And that's the thing. What pisses me off, even like on his calls, it's like you want refs to make. I want refs to make decisions, not look for the bunker, not look for video. Like make the call, and stick with it.
Exactly.
But like even on those blockers, right now, field goals and that get reviewed for the bunker. So he could have called it field goal,
and it would have.
If they would have taken off them.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's frustrating is that it should. Yeah.
It's just so frustrating.
And you better believe it was very upsetting and completely ruined my night. When that's what cost me my perfect round.
Yeah, it completely ruined it.
It was pretty tough. But look, moving ahead to next week, and again, this is before Team List Tuesday, so we're going in blind.
So subject to change.
Subject to change. The Tigers take on Manly. Now, I am, as we've alluded to, it's at Leichhardt.
I forgot. The Tigers have a bye next round. If Eels keep losing, the Tigers are in.
I'm hesitant to go.
I don't think the Tigers win.
By 20, but
I'm going Manly by 16. I think the Manlys are on a run. And I know it's at Leichhardt. But I just think after last week, they only just won. They just won to Eels. I mean, they do have the potential to win, but I just think they lose this game. They get the 2 points from the bye next week, and then they beat the Eels. That's what I'm going.
History tells you, it was the same last year. History tells you when the Tigers finally win a game, they win the second.
No.
They're 2 from 2 this year. I'm backing up. Last year, the exact same thing.
I'm going Manly.
At Leichhardt.
I'm going Manly. There is no way. Manly are on a run. I'm going Manly.
The Tigers are going to stick the boot in them.
All right. You go Tigers then.
Tigers are going to stick the boot in them. Thanks for coming.
Next game.
It's like the Luke Brooks revenge game, but it's not Luke Brooks that will be doing the revenge. It's Leichhardt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so going for
but you're like,
Manly. It's a Luke Brooks versus Tigers.
I should go Manly, but...
You already lost the tipping comp now, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but I could come last.
Yeah, I know.
See, and I think I want the listeners' opinion on that. I'm not sure if I've said that before, but look, so we're having our own comp.
Yeah.
But then there are two other people, loyal listeners, Josh and Zach, in our tipping comp, right? And so I'm 6 behind you. Season's over.
7.
7. Oh my god. Unfortunately though, in my chase for George, my chase for glory, I'm now only 1.
2.
No.
2. Oh, 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Because they went the Sharks. So I'm only 1 off Josh. And so I don't actually, and you know, it's like losers meant to pay for, a lunch or a dinner or whatever. I actually don't count it. I don't count it. I don't think it should count. Because my tips have been public. And clearly, my tips have been very aggressive in trying to catch Georgia. Unfortunately, clearly, backfired tremendously this year. Horrifically.
I've had a 12-point turnaround.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with myself.
But again, it's like you got to keep playing footy. And I have an aggressive style. And I've played that aggressive style.
Yeah.
And I obviously ratcheted it up through caution to the wind to try catch you. Which has made me incredibly easy to counter.
Yeah.
Because when I go the Tigers to beat Manly, common sense usually prevails that Manly will win, right?
Luke Brooks is a lot to play for.
So I just don't think it's...
Have they played each other this year?
No.
Luke Brooks has so much to pay for. I'm going to Google it.
Anyway, I want your opinion. Send us a message. I don't think it... It's two separate comps. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it counts. Look, I'm going to come back to that one. I'll probably go Manly, but I think Tigers can.
Yeah, they
History
definitely
shows
can.
they win in pairs, and they win at Leichhardt.
Yeah.
Anyway, next game, the Warriors on the Bulldogs.
Go the Dogs. I've been the Dogs the last few weeks, and they've...
Last game, Sean Johnson's last ever game in New Zealand. His second last game ever. Warriors desperate just for one moment in the sun.
But this is the games they always lose. I just don't know if I can tip them. I actually am. Now that I really, it's his last
Sean
home
Johnson
game.
Stadium. They've even changed the name of the stadium for one game.
I think I'm gonna go the Waz. I think I'm gonna believe.
Like this is not a tip based on form. And you know what's been upsetting me? Every time I go on desperate teams, they actually lose.
Yeah. Every time I've gone desperate teams, they've won. Anyway, I'm going the Waz.
It is not a form base, but this is emotion based.
Emotion based.
I think
everyone wants the Waz to win.
I don't think.
Surely, unless they completely blow it, there is surely no way the Waz lose.
This will be sad to see.
This will be hard to lose.
Because
even the Bulldogs will be like...
Well, because this is the second last game ever. Next game they play Sharks, and Warriors actually have to bye around 27.
Oh, do they?
So he has 2 games left in his career. This is last game in New Zealand.
Surely.
They'll fucking kneecap.
They need it.
Burton or something.
Yeah. Next game is the Broncos versus the Eels. I have gone the Broncos. But I'm also a little bit unsure about this.
No Ezra, no Walsh, and no Haas. I've gone Broncos too, but Eels have shown more, but I think Eels are done.
Do you know, this game is honestly going to be dependent.
Broncos can still make the 8 though.
I know, but I'm going to... No, the Broncos can't.
No, they can.
No, they can't.
They can. They're 2 games behind the 8 with 3 games to go. It's obviously hard, but if they win all 3, Dragons shit the bed.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not impossible, but they have to be perfect and things have to go their way. But
yeah, so
I think
I'm going Eels, but this is honestly dependent on how the Warriors Bulldogs go. If the Warriors win, I might stick the Eels, but if the Warriors lose, I'm going to change to the Broncos. Raiders, Panthers, Penrith. I cannot.
Raiders hate playing at home, and apparently they hate playing.
I can't go Raiders. Storm and Dolphins. Storm.
Yeah, Storm. There's not much to say there. Good, and yeah.
No, there's just no way. Bunnies versus Knights. I've gone the Knights.
Upset Finton's gone the Rabbitohs. I'm sick of believing in the Knights. I'm sick of believing in them.
Yeah, but you cannot believe in a team that just lost to the Tigers and is coming 15th. And you have to go the Knights. The Knights can do it. They only just lost, and it was an unfair loss.
They have the worst attack in the comp.
I know.
Their attack's worse than the Tigers.
I know, but I think they'll have a... I think they'll come out after losing
I'll go
game.
Knights, but I'm not confident in that at all.
Titans versus...
I fucking hate the Knights. The Knights... Do you know what was crazy? In the game on the weekend, there was actually one kick, probably the first kick the entire year. They challenged,
and,
you know
and they got it back.
They got it back. They got 6 tackles back.
So maybe
do you know what they did the rest of the game?
Didn't challenge.
Not challenge kicks. Crazy.
Titans versus Roosters. The Roosters.
Titans. You know what? Titans will probably win.
Yeah.
It's what they do. I'm going Roosters. And
Dragons versus Sharks. I'm going the Dragons because we're going to the game and it's at win. Go the Dragons.
Yeah, see, but that's the thing. Dragons, this is going to be very interesting. Because Dragons win, but they don't win 2 good games in a row. They don't.
I know,
year, they've
but
never backed up
they got embarrassed last time at Shark Park.
I know, but you got to understand, they're not the Tigers. They don't back up good performances.
But they have before once. They did that other game where they played at Win and then they went to play at Cogra. They've done it once. I believe in them.
I'm
for
going
the Sharks.
Dragons.
It's their last home game for the year. It's going to be packed.
But then I have to go Dragons. But at the same time, the Sharks, every time I keep doubting them and they keep winning.
No, I'm going the Dragons. They've got this.
So, to reiterate, Tigers versus Manly.
Manly. You can subject to change it.
Look, I'll probably... No.
3,
I'm going to go Manly. I'm going to
okay,
go Manly. But if Tigers win, I'm holding you personally accountable.
Go for it.
Tigers will win. Manly will win. Manly.
All right. Warriors.
No emotion, Finton. Manly. Warriors Bulldogs.
Warriors.
Again, that's emotion based. Broncos versus Eels. Broncos. Raiders versus Penrith. The Riff. Storm Dolphins. Storm. Rabbitohs Knights. Titans Roosters. And the Dragons and the Sharkies.
Go the Dragons.
Go Dragons. On paper, the only difference is the Eels.
Eels, yeah. It's the only difference.
Look, as always, thanks for listening. But, if you enjoy the show, like, rate, review, leave us a star rating on Spotify and Apple. Send us a message through the links on Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube. Again, we want to do live streams. We need to get to 4,000 this week. Update on the subscribers. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I think it's 4,000 to stream. And we're still at 62. So we still need 3,938. Very doable. Because that would be fun. Do you know what I mean? Like, because that's actually when my best material is, when I'm watching the game.
Yeah.
Because I'm not thinking and I'm just have pure unadulterated bias and anger and aggression. It's when I get...
And you give the poor dog, like, trauma.
It's when I do my best work. But yeah, means a lot. Finn and G on Instagram. Give us a follow. And look, I think, we got the groove back today. I think this was shitloads better. Like last week, I wouldn't have listened to it.
No. But yeah, thank you for listening. See you next week.
See ya.